Hey guys, it's Princess Asura. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing like a little hygiene essentials kit that you can use for when you go to school. You can actually use it on a daily basis for certain things I'm going to show you. And it might be a long video, I'm not sure, but trust me, you guys will not regret getting all of these tips. So let's get this video started. So the first thing that you might need is a pouch. You don't have to use a pouch. It's just a little bit more organized that way when you put everything in one place rather than all over your bag. But that's all up to you because I can admit that I was not using a pouch. Even when it's like in my purse, I don't use pouches, but it's much more organized when you do use a pouch. And everything that I'm going to show you is definitely not going to fit in this small pouch, but this is just a suggestion. If you don't have a pouch, you can also use like a Ziploc bag or you can use a plastic bag. It doesn't have to be all fancy and perfect. You can use anything that you have. So the first essential that I feel like you should add to your kit or you can use on a regular basis when you're at home or wherever you are wipes. So I got these wipes from Walmart. They are flushable. This one is for the front and it's unscented, so even if you're looking at a different brand for wipes, hopefully it is unscented as well. And then this one is for the back. Also, I do not expect you to bring this big package in your bag, but that's what I did. But of course it's gonna make it heavier, and if you're actually using like a pouch or something, this is not gonna work because it's way too big. So if you want it like as a travel size thing, then you can definitely just take a few out of the package and you can put it in like a plastic bag or something. So I use this on a regular basis on or off my period. It is really good to use when you're on your period if you use pads just to clean up a little bit when you're in the bathroom. So before I use these wipes, I usually use this bottle. I'll fill it up with water and then you pull this up and then you kind of like squirt it down there just to clean it up a little bit. This is not really the bottle I suggest, like if you're carrying it around in a purse because it can leak. But there is another one. I did have it, but I don't know where it is. So I'll just insert a picture, but you can choose. It's up to you which one you want to use, but I do suggest the one that I'm going to insert. For this one, you always have to, if you still have water in there and you're going to put it back in your bag, you're going to have to keep it up like this because once you put it down, it'll actually leak. So that's the only thing you have to be mindful of. But the good thing about this one is it actually comes with a cap, so you can actually cover it when you're done until you want to use it again. So yeah, I do suggest you invest in one of these as well. And the reason why I suggest wipes and even using this off your period is because when you pee and you just wipe it with toilet paper, I feel like it's not really cleaning it, it's just drying it. So to clean it like a little bit better, I suggest using both of these. So when you're cleaning back there after doing a number 2, just be mindful if you don't use wipes, you just use toilet paper. It's not cleaning back there as much as you might think, and there might still be a stench. So I do recommend using wipes. The wipes might not take away the stench either. That's why I don't only use wipes, but I suggest using one of these personal cleansers or the moisturizing cleanser. You can get it off of Amazon. I know sometimes the personal cleanser is sold out, so the moisturizing cleanser works just as well, and they're non-rinse, so you can just use it and you're good to go. So when I'm using this, I'll spray it on a wipe and then I'll like scrub it, but very gently because you don't want to cause any ripping or anything like that. So be very gentle, and then you'll go in with a new wipe, spray it on again, and then clean it until you see nothing on the wipe. Since the bottles are pretty big for this personal cleanser, you can actually use a smaller bottle. I have a little travel size here. You can get one that's even smaller. It's up to your preference. So the next thing I suggest is deodorant. So this is the Nivea aluminum free deodorant. I suggest this 100%. But any deodorant I guess that works for you is perfectly fine. You never know, one of those days where you might have forgot to put deodorant on, so it's a good thing that you have it in your kit. So if you did forget to put on deodorant and you find you're smelling a little bit musty and then you're like, oh yeah, I have deodorant in my kit, let me just use the deodorant. Absolutely not. You cannot just throw on the deodorant after you're feeling musty. You're not going to be good and glamorous. You're not going to be perfect. You're not going to smell good. It's just not going to work. So what I suggest you do is you grab a piece of paper towel, keep this in your kit, or something else, whatever, but I do suggest just like a piece of paper towel or a couple, whatever you prefer. And what you're going to do is you're going to spray either your moisturizing or personal cleanser. They're both head to toe. and they're no rinse, remember, so you can use any of these two, and then you spray it onto the paper towel, and then you're just gonna wipe everything away. Maybe you might need a couple and just wipe everything away. Wipe as much as you can away, and then you'll put on your deodorant, and then you'll feel better, you'll smell better. So the next thing that I suggest that won't be in your kit but might be on some items that are in your kit is a label maker. You don't have to have a label maker. You can buy the ones that you can write on from the dollar store or Walmart. That's up to you. But I suggest that you put it on the things that aren't in its original packaging, just so you can tell the difference. For example, for the wipes, I have the ones for the front and the back, just so I don't mix it up if I'm putting them in separate sandwich bags. If I choose to do that, then I can put a label on it so I can tell the difference, so I don't mix anything up. So the next thing that I suggest that might have to go outside of your kit since it's way too big is a water bottle, just in case. You never know. Especially if you don't have a reusable water bottle, an extra water bottle will be perfect, just for, especially for those hot days that you might need a little bit more to drink. I definitely suggest carrying an extra water bottle. So if you love to smell good just like me, I suggest that you add like a fragrance mist or perfume, whatever you choose to add inside of your kit, just so you smell good the whole day. I highly suggest you get Body Fantasies. If you're on like a budget, it's very affordable and it lasts a very long time. So I have the Pink Vanilla Kiss one right here. I wore this one throughout high school, got a lot of compliments on it. Even outside of high school, I still wear it to this day. I get a lot of compliments, and you don't have to spray it 1,000 times during the day because it's long lasting, so that's a good thing about it. Also, they have smaller versions of it. If you can't find the smaller version, it's perfectly fine, because you can use the travel size spray bottles and just pour whatever fragrance you have inside of that bottle. The next thing I suggest are hand creams. These are definitely essential when your hands are dry. I don't know about you guys, but I cannot function when my hands are super dry, so it's always good to have these inside of your bag. I suggest that you have like lip balm, or if you want like lip gloss or something like that inside of your kit, because I don't know about you guys, but I also cannot function when I have dry lips, and it doesn't look good either. So definitely keep one of these in there. Hand sanitizer is an essential everywhere you go, especially nowadays, so make sure this is definitely in your kit. There's also these hand sanitizer wipes that you can use. I kind of like to use that if I have something on my fingers and I don't have a sink or a washroom nearby. This is also really good for that as well. Soft tissues are an essential. The reason why I'm saying soft tissues is because I've used other tissues like that are a little bit more rough, and they have cut my nose and it just wasn't a good look. So I suggest using soft tissues, and they're much more comfortable to use, especially if you have like a nosebleed, you have allergies, whatever the case may be, soft tissues will do it. I have this small pack. I do suggest that even if you have space in your locker, maybe you should get like a small little box of soft tissues, especially if you get like a lot of nosebleeds often, and maybe if you have allergies, whatever the case may be. Even if you just want to keep them just in case, I suggest that you do that if you do have room, or it's up to you, whatever you choose to do. The next thing is optional depending on what your hairstyle is, depending on if you even want to bring this to school. But this is like a small hairbrush that you can use if you're having a bad hair day, or if you want to touch up on your hairstyle. You can use a hairbrush, you can use a comb, whatever you decide to do. Even if you do edges, you can use like an edge brush, have an extra one and some edge control to keep on the side just to touch them up, or if they get messed up, you had gym class, you sweat them out, they look terrible now, you can always keep those things in your bag. On that note, you can also keep ponytails, hair ties, whatever you want to call them, keep them just in case, because I've been in situations where the only one I had broke and then I had to tie it together. It just wasn't good, so it's always good to have an extra one. I suggest that you carry a lint roller just in case. I know that some people expect you to do that before you leave the house, but sometimes you might forget. And what if you went out for lunch and you saw a dog, you decide to pet the dog, and now the dog fur is all over your clothes? You have a lint roller. So I definitely suggest that you keep this just in case. The next three things that I suggest are mouthwash, gum, and a toothpick. I know this is a little bit weird and you might be like, why are you carrying that in your bag? But it is an essential. What if something that you had for lunch made your breath smell bad? It could have been something with onions in it, something with garlic, other things too. But what if you're walking around with onion or garlic breath? Just for the sake of yourself and others, I feel like instead of walking around with that type of breath, you should try to do something about it. It might not take the whole stench away, but it will definitely do better than walking around with that type of breath. So I do suggest that you use mouthwash. I do suggest TheraBreath. This is the one that I like to use. There's a bunch of different types of them, or whatever mouthwash you like. I suggest that you use it and try to do something about it. That it's better than nothing. And the toothpick is, of course, if there's something in your teeth, just so you can easily get it out and you're not walking around with stuff in your teeth. Gum is optional because there's schools that won't allow you to chew gum, and I went to a school like that. I wasn't allowed. But if you are, just to make your breath smell a little bit better, I suggest that you chew some gum. If you're gonna do all three, do it in the order: floss pick, mouthwash, and then gum. So this is for anyone that wears makeup. I don't really wear makeup like that, but if you do and you like to wear it to school or whatever, then if your makeup does get ruined, you can either choose to touch it up, bring some extra makeup and touch it up just in case, or you could just remove it. Use the wipes, put in a few of them in a sandwich bag, put the label on it, and you're good to go. So if your face is feeling dry, or you're in a scenario where someone comes up to you and splashes your face with water, now you're crying to the bathroom, you're drying it all off your face, now your face is dry, I think that you should keep face cream inside of your kit. I suggest that you keep like Advil or Tylenol inside of your bag just in case you have a headache, any other pains on your body, just so you can actually try to get through the day rather than suffering through the pain. I've been in a car accident before, and I know it's not easy having pain, especially when you're outside of your house. So I do suggest that you keep like heat wraps. This one is by Robax. This one is for your neck and shoulder. There's one for lower back. I think they have other ones for other parts of your body. And there's like a gel thing that you can use. I'll insert a picture. And that's perfect to help with the pain so you're not suffering. Pads or tampons are a must, whether if you're already on your period and you just need to change throughout the day, or if you're waiting on it and you happen to get it at school, you should have pads or tampons so you can use it in that situation. I'm not about to hold an underwear up for you guys in this video, but you guys definitely know what I'm talking about. So if you end up being in the scenario where you leak onto your underwear, I suggest having an extra underwear in your kit just so you can change. If you wear pads, I'm going to give you a tip just so you don't leak out from the back, especially when you're sleeping, because that's usually when it happens. That's when the disaster comes. So I suggest that these are like 2 squares of toilet paper that I folded in half. 2 squares. You can use 1 or you can use 3, whatever your preference is. So you fold it in half and then you start rolling it. And then when you're done rolling it, you kind of have to like stick it in between your behind, like the crack. You kind of have to stick it in between. I know people think it's weird, but I don't care if it's weird. It's not like you're gonna see it. I'm just telling you as a tip, and it does work. So it doesn't even matter what it seems like. If it seems weird, it helps. So I do suggest that you do that if you want to avoid leakage from the back. To help with period cramps, if you get cramps, I suggest that you use Midol or Maxidol. You can use Tylenol or Advil, whatever works for you. Midol doesn't really work that much for me. I find that Maxidol is more effective, so this is the one I usually use. But it's whatever works for you. So whatever works for your period cramps, I suggest that you have that in your kit. If you like using heating pads for your cramp, this is one that you can wear around at school, wherever you are, to be honest. You can just stick it onto your underwear and you can walk around with it, and it really does help. It's not in the box, so I will insert a picture of it, but it really does help. So this one is extremely optional because I usually use this one when I'm at home. It is also for your period cramps. It has a heating setting and it has like a massage setting where it like vibrates, but when it vibrates it's very loud, so I wouldn't usually use that at school. You can still use it and just use the heat. You don't have to use both, but so it's optional. You can use it if you just want the heat, but it only lasts like, I think like 4 hours. You have to keep charging it and it takes forever to charge. So that's definitely optional. I say that the sticky heating pad is the better option. I'm just going to show you guys how loud the vibration is. There's different vibration patterns. Because this is the one I usually use and it helps. So yes, it's pretty loud, so I wouldn't suggest using it at school, but again, it is completely up to you and is optional. So that is it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something or are able to use some of my tips in your hygiene kit for your school bag or your purse or whatever you like. And I'll see you guys in the next video.